Hello, everybody. Today we are back with another Borderlands 2 unofficial community patch video. Now that we have finished with Axton, we are moving on to Maya for the Every Com with Every Character series. And I've been wanting to do a Maliwan Allegiance build with Maya for quite a while, and there is a com that fits pretty well with that I haven't done a build with yet, so we kind of get a double whammy here. So we'll get a Maliwan Allegiance and also work our way through the Every Com series. And that com is the Cunning Fox class mod. It's not the best com for a Maliwan Allegiance. You also have the Binder and the Legendary Siren available, which are both really good, but I've already done those, so I thought, why not just do the Cunning Fox? And I think the Witch class mod is also available for Maliwan Allegiance, but I thought this one would be pretty fun. So yeah, here's the gear. We've got the Florentine for our slagging purposes, conscription shields as well, and actually does pretty decent damage. Then we have got the Hellfire. This is going to be our primary, DPS option. It synergizes really well with the Maliwan Com, the burn damage and ignite chance it's going to help. It's just going to pump out some good damage for us. Thunderball Fist is just kind of for fun. It doesn't necessarily synergize with what we're doing, but it's pretty strong. Um, and it'll be kind of fun to use, something a little bit different. And the Volcano gets some nice buffs on the UCP, just makes it a bit better. On the normal game, it's not quite as strong, but you could probably still make it work. But I thought it would fit pretty well with this burn damage kind of build and setup. And yeah, I thought it'd just be a fun one to use and give us a long range option when we're not using the Hellfire. And it should do pretty good damage with the Fox class mod. So yeah, then we've got the antagonist. Thankfully, it's a Maliwan shield because it's really good. The Fox class mod. I chose the Cunning variant because it buffs Reaper the most, and Reaper is an amazing skill. And it also buffs Helios and Blight Phoenix. Helios is pretty good. I've said it before, I think Blight Phoenix is pretty trash. It's just too difficult to get a lot of usage out of it. You have to be basically on top of an enemy, and even if Blight Phoenix is hitting someone, it doesn't do that much damage. So I don't find it very intriguing. I put a value point into it just because I get +4 from the com, but honestly, you could definitely argue not even putting a point into it. I really don't like that skill, but yeah. And then we got the O negative, which is another Maliwan grenade, gives us some sustain and some decent damage. And then the Maliwan Allegiance Relic, just to stay true to the Maliwan theme. Damage and fire rate. I think there's reload speed and fire rate and damage reload speed and, all those different variants. But I thought, why not get damage and fire rate? Maya does have some reload speed buffs, so why not maximize the damage and fire rate? Because typically where Maliwan struggles is damage. They have high fire rate, they have high elemental damage, but they don't have very high base damage typically, so I figured this would help with that a bit. If you're not strictly following the allegiance, I think a fire bone would actually be a bit better, but this is going to be perfectly fine as well. Now for the skill build, we'll go ahead and start on the right side. I already went ahead and spec'd it out. If you have any questions about the skill build, you can always ask in the comments, because I know sometimes it looks weird. I have a point or like 4 points or random points thrown around. But when I'm naturally progressing through the skill tree, it just kind of works out. I try to get as much value as I possibly can out of all 3 skill trees, so I end up throwing a point here and there in random skills. Or not random, but yeah. Anyway, I will just kind of go through it how I went through it. So I maxed Foresight. I love the magazine size and reload speed. Good damage buff. Helios, because it's buffed by our comm, it'll actually do some pretty good damage. Cloud Kill and Chain Reaction are both massive buffs to our DPS. Same thing with Reaper. Nice buff from the comm. Got a value point from Blight Phoenix, just because our comm buffs it. And then put about 3 points into Flicker so we could get Ruin. And yeah, so we took Ruin, good skill. And then I put an extra point into Flicker later on, but technically you only need 3 to get to Ruin. But I just decided why not get that 4th once I had 1 skill point left over. I thought it would benefit the most. So yeah. Over here, we start with Sweet Release for some good sustain. Then we max Rec for extra DPS. Res and Elated for good sustain, and the Fight for Your Lifetime is nice. And then I put points into Mind's Eye so we can unlock a value point into Life Tap. I think the skill is really, really awesome just for 1 or 2 points. It's a huge amount of sustain literally from just a point or two, which those are my favorite kind of skills, and that's kind of what I seek to accomplish when I'm making a Borderlands 2 build. I want to find the skills where I can invest the least amount of points possible and get the most benefit. And Life Tap is one of those skills. And you only need about 3 points to get down to Life Tap, but again, we had some extra points, and I figured I'd go ahead and max Mind's Eye for some extra DPS and accuracy. Over here, we went Ward, very good survivability skill. Suspension helps our phase lock uptime, which helps our DPS. Converge for crowd control. Then we did 3 and 1 here so we could progress. Inertia just gives good survivability and DPS increases. I almost always take a value point into kinetic reflection because you get a 100% deflection chance even at level 1. In conjunction with the antagonist, you get a lot of deflection and a lot of deflected bullets hurting the enemies, so I like that. Then we go 5 into Quicken for the cooldown rate. And I actually decided to do Thought Lock with this build, so I wanted to get Subsequence to make sure that we had enemies constantly crowd controlled and Thought Locked. So yeah, I like, honestly, ever since I've done that Thought Lock build and kind of toyed around with it more, I've actually really warmed up to Thought Lock. I think it's actually really underrated and ridiculously strong. I think it really shines in a co-op environment. Being able to take the aggro off of your teammates is huge, and in solo it helps a lot as well because the enemies are attacking each other instead of you. So I think that is sort of an underrated aspect. Yeah, it's really good, and I like it a lot. More people should definitely give it a shot. Anyway, here we are with the build, and we will go ahead and go to the gameplay. Alrighty, we are back with the gameplay. Here is the build. And let's go ahead and put it to the test. I guess we'll lead with the Hellfire and just see how things go. Nice, good damage. He needs to be slagged. I don't think he got slagged. There we go. Nice, pretty good damage. Not fantastic outside of phase lock, because Helios and the crowd control sort of helps us pad the stats, if you will, but it works well enough. Alright, we'll wait a second. Let our phase lock come up. Oh, I guess technically it's Thought Lock, but I'm going to try to play it a little bit more long range, see how the volcano performs.
Explosive now!
Not bad. Nice. Take that. Didn't even slag him. Yeah, the Florentine is not always the best about slagging. It does kind of make up for that in terms of its damage, at least. Oops, wrong weapon. And Volcano's definitely doing pretty well, actually. Oh, it sure would be nice to have the Quasar with... I love the Quasar with Thought Lock. It has such good synergy. Alright, nice. Got a lot of free damage there. He's pretty much dead.
I see a badass!
Nice. Definitely not lacking in the damage department. Probably weaker than some builds, but honestly, if I wasn't strictly sticking to the Maliwan allegiance, a Quasar would honestly help a lot with the damage, funnily enough. DOT seems to be pretty substantial, though. And then, I mean, honestly, the Florentine itself, as you can see there, it can do some work. That's pretty good. I'm gonna try the Thunderball Fist a little bit. Not gonna be as good since the Calm doesn't buff shock damage, but and we're not using a shock relic, but that's actually still pretty good. Little ammo hungry using the Quarantine plus Hellfire though.
I love
Most
my
definitely. Might need to rely on the volcano a little bit more.
Stop struggling.
Alright. Nice. Where's this guy?
Please stop.
There we go. Yeah, not bad. A little ammo hungry. It's definitely not like the highest DPS build, but with Thoughtlock we have some pretty good control. And we do some pretty good damage over time, which helps with our sustain as well. With Life Tap. Alright. Oh. Playing that a little bit greedy. Trying to phase lock someone else. That's okay. Oh, that doesn't feel good. Need to slag him.
Stop struggling.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, sometimes subsequence can have issues finding the right target. I don't really know what he's doing. He's still alive. Yeah, I think so. He's rolling around quite a bit. There we go.
Enough.
But that just... What the hell? That pulled him down so far. Wow. That's actually not really helpful. Oh, I thought that slacked him. Yeah, Florentine Hellfire is pretty ammo hungry, but DPS is certainly respectable. I don't even know where they are. Am I blind? Are they all down there? That's quite a bit of damage per time. He's just gonna die. Huh. Not bad. Calm doing its thing. Oh. Yeah, no, I don't like that. I wanna Thoughtlock Mad Mike if possible. I think that would be pretty funny. Yeah, there we go. Let's see what he does to his teammates. He's shooting him, but maybe didn't do the best job. He missed them more than he would normally miss me. Owie. Yeah, that hurt. We should be fine though.
Bitches.
Are they just below me? I'm pretty sure they're below me.
Stay still. Farewell.
Where the hell is it? Yeah, he's like right below. Alright, whatever. Don't really care.
Explosives. Silence.
Oh, there we go. Some nice subsequence and DOT action. All grouped together like that, it does some work. Yeah, I feel like every weapon I'm using has honestly done its job.
Another down.
Thoughtlock keeping aggro off of me. Yep, that guy. That bomber suicided his friend. Yeah, this is where Thoughtlock can be really cool. I mean, it just takes so much control off of you, and the enemies end up killing each other. They hit so hard on OP10 that they kill their teammates pretty quickly. It's a nice, nice skill. Nice skill. Something that, or a skill that I think is pretty underappreciated in the Borderlands 2 community as well. Doesn't really get a lot of recognition or attention, but it's not bad. It's actually quite good. On the contrary, what do we have here?
Enough.
Need to burn his shield. Okay. Yeah, I think the big thing that people typically argue for phase lock with is that it's easier to aim when someone's suspended in air, which is true. But if someone's walking that slowly, like, it's also really easy to hit them. And they're attacking their teammates. So I don't know, there's pros and cons to both, but I've been warming up more and more to Thought Lock over time.
Calm down.
Let's see. Don't really have a good angle here. Ooh. Let him attack his friends.
You're done.
Nice damage, he killed his friend. Oh, he got unslagged. Not what you want.
Stop struggling.
That wasn't necessary, but oh well. Trying to get him slagged, there we go. Oh! Ouchie. Did kill myself there by running into the Thunderball Fist. Not the smartest idea.
Stay put.
Just kind of fire into the general vicinity. Seems to be working. Nice. Yeah, the elemental damage is really potent with this comp. Very nice. Burn damage is definitely real. Feels like we're getting some very solid damage over time.
Stay still.
Alrighty. He's a gunner. Alright. Looks like that's pretty much it. I wouldn't say I'm like surprised, but yeah, the build is a little bit better than I thought it would be. It's actually pretty strong. The amount of crowd control you have is very nice, and the damage over time does some serious work. You can just kind of leave enemies alone and let the thought lock and damage over time do its work. I mean, once you phase lock, get the Helios proc, and if you get a Hellfire damage over time on them or a Volcano damage over time on them, I mean, the enemies are killing each other and then slowly dying to the dot, and you're keeping yourself healed with the negative, just kind of chilling. Uh, Pretty easy build to execute with pretty high upsides, pretty good damage. I like it. So, yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you next time.